one about prosperity, of great wealth, of endless growth, of economics, politics, geology, biology. No, well, there's people in it. It's about people moving to the Avalon Peninsula by the thousand, all at one time. The Avalon Peninsula isn't a very big body of land for a lot of people to come all at once. It's only joined onto the rest of the island by a little 5-kilometer wide isthmus. Makes you wonder if at some point, it'll be too much for it to take. This is called the wreck of the Avalon Peninsula. So of all of the setbacks on Newfoundland Isle in these recent years, both by people and nature, hurricane weather where houses are spoiled, and in our politics arguments and debate, sure 'tis no wonder we're always going uphill, one thing or another, that's how it seems. I thought about all this one evening until I fell asleep and had this wicked bad dream. I dreamed that those who had moved away came back from Alberta, Toronto, and Ottawa. With plenty of work they all came back again, but this time to the Avalon Peninsula. And that was all good except for the timing. Everyone all at once is a big number. All hands from all trades to computers to mining, and where they went to just about buckled under. Some folks didn't care much for living in town. Overnight some new houses went up all dispersed. Torbay grew upwards and Mabel's grew down. Couldn't grow east, 'cause St. John's was there first. On Newfoundland Island, the east is the smaller end, and these developments came to be born. Nobody weighed the west coast for a ballast. The new Costco alone was the biggest gross morn. Soon as they came with supplies for Costco, that poor little isthmus had started to strain. Trucks for the trailers and TVs in tow, and that's when the produce and pet supplies came. Cases of kibble and cat food in cans, pallets with packs of grapes, purple and green, bags of potatoes, the big and small vans, bunches of bananas, the biggest you've seen. But at the store in the new town of Galway, the Avalon sunk right down to the Cape shore. When they tried to put up a retaining wall, they found all of the concrete was in Labrador. 'Twas on Muskrat Falls, and then we were all skeptical and said goodbye to that fair Avalon. The army sent pumps, but 'cause they were electric, the province could not afford to turn them on. We sit in despair. She's gone, boy, she's gone, and we'll have to go elsewhere, not much we can do. All bad enough that they sunk our economy, they had to go sink the Avalon too. But when we sat down for to take a good look, to shore up the province, it was a small task. We towed the new houses out to Corner Brook, and put the new Costco up in Port of Basque. Get a jig on the go now, I suppose. Get a jig never hurt anybody. Okay. They're making personal bubbles now, ones that can adjust to meet your height requirement and a 6-foot radius. It's like a giant see-through can, 12 feet across. The government is making them and selling them at cost. Our premier launched a plan for when people got to go to town, manufactured bubbles to get inside to go around. When stay inside your bubble, he said on the internet and TV, us the viewers didn't realize he meant it literally. There was a warehouse closing up, the lights were off, the doors were shutting, the premier signed a 6-month lease, and then he streamed the ribbon cutting. The cost of all these bubbles, he said, it would be minor. Some materials were donated, and there's stuff just lying here. Some were made from alder trees with roofing tar and glue. Others made from tent poles, don't know where they got those to. Some were reinforced with plastic cut-off salt beef bucket rings strung together with tie wraps, picture wire, and piece of strings. Rubber gloves were on the front to handle carts in grocery stores. Shower curtain hooks to haul the bubble off when back indoors. Strong enough to handle high winds, nice and light to carry far, so the actual bubble was 10 mil Weber barrier. It was an unprecedented measurement, our full height and 6 feet around, but we'll get used to wearing them and not to run aground. When walking through a tight spot like in aisles in grocery stores, I hope today can find a way to fit those bubbles through the doors. Now that we all got our bubbles, sure we can protect ourselves. We can stay 6 feet away, and if we all wear bubbles, 12. When all this is over, when we bring it to a close, what will we do with all these bubbles? Wear them in the rain, I suppose. They're making personal bubbles now, ones that can adjust to meet your height requirement and a 6-foot radius. It's like a giant see-through can, one big 12-foot ring, so we can stock up on our goods while social distancing. Anyway, that's it. What's next?